Hey everybody, Jason Burmis here, and I missed this story yesterday. It's an incredible story. It's one that is extremely layered and deep. But for those that do not know, Mohamed Morsi, who was the first democratically elected president of Egypt after the Arab Spring, who, by the way, was asking some tough questions about that big September event we talk about sometimes and saying some pretty stunning things. He became the first elected president. And I remember at the time there were headlines kind of smearing him after the Arab Spring, talking about that fact. Well, it turns out that he was in court yesterday. And while he was in a glass cage, we're going to show you in past, where are we at? Yes, in past trials, he was in some kind of a barrier, but they said he was in some kind of a glass enclosure this time. Let's just read it because it's so unbelievable. This is 2019 we're in. By the way, ousted in a military coup in 2014. So I think in the beginning of his fourth term. So let's talk about this. Egypt's first democratically elected president, Islamist leader Mohamed Morsi, who was ousted by the military in 2013 after a year in office, collapsed in court while on trial Monday and died, state TV and his family said. The 67-year-old Morsi had just addressed the court, so it's not like he was just even sitting there. He had just addressed the court, guys. Speaking from the glass cage he is kept in during sessions and warning that he had many secrets he could reveal, a judicial official said. A few minutes after he said this, guys, he collapsed in the cage, the official said, speaking on the condition of anonymity because he was not authorized to talk to the press. So, I mean, come on. Can you imagine this in the United States? First of all, the idea of a coup d'etat in the United States, it's more sleek, it's more sophisticated. It's what we saw recently with all the allegations of Russia, and now the turning that into obstruction of justice, prolonging the process, still trying to gamble on taking a president out. Before that, it was really trying to be a perjury trap or get him on lesser crimes. But when none of that could be done, they broke the report into two, and now they're attempting again. That's the type of coup d'etat we've seen in this country. And it's been a long time since we've seen that. After all, Barack Obama, company man to the hilt. And I'm not saying Trump's not a company man on a lot of things. He is. I call him out. But at the same time, I really feel like they would have much rather had Hillary Clinton. And there are those seething to get into power right now. So when you look at this guy and all of this that happened, he's taken out with a military coup. It's, now 2019, he's still going to trial. Remember, I showed you some past trials. We'll go over a couple of those in a minute. He says that he is going to out people and tell secrets, and he dies right there. And there's no pictures, there's no video of this. This has to be leaked to the media. Leaked to the media. Think about that. In his final, State TV said Morsi died before he could even be taken to the hospital. So Morsi's Muslim Brotherhood accused the government of assassinating him through years of poor prison conditions. In a statement, the group demanded an international investigation into Morsi's death and called out Egyptians to protest outside Egypt's embassy across the world. Morsi, who was known to have diabetes, had been in prison since he was his 2013 ouster, often a solitary confinement and barred from visitors. His family was allowed to only visit him 3 times over the last 6 years. Okay? Now, he was asking some pretty serious questions all the way back in 2007. Let's see what he had to say. Remember, this is the guy that takes over in the Arab Spring. He's the first democratically elected guy. That's what brings him on my radar. He said this: the U.S. administration has never presented any evidence on the identity of those who committed that incident. The Muslim Brotherhood and others demanded a transparent trial with clear evidence and to have court rulings. We confirm that this isn't a defense to those who committed these actions, but we only seek the truth. Very measured, by the way. We have officially demanded a fair trial for the suspects and the issuance of a detailed scientific report about the attacks. I wonder what he could be talking about there. But the U.S. administration did not respond till now. This requires a huge scientific conference that is devoted to analyzing what caused the attack against a massive structure like the two World Trade Center towers. So this guy, again, ousted in a military coup. That was the Egyptian presidential candidate doubts the al-Qaeda role in 9/11. That's actually a Washington Times article. We'll just hit it so you can see it quick as it comes up. It'll get taken away, but there you go. Okay, mainstream news. These are the enclosures he was, okay? Dies during his court appearance. Unbelievable. And here's some of the things that they said he did. Detention and torture of protesters, leading an illegal coup during the Arab Spring here. Let's see. And prison breaks, etc. I don't know much about this man, but I'm going to tell you about another guy. Slobodan Milosevic. Okay? They said that he had committed genocide against Muslims. The Serbians did in Bosnia. And that basically Milosevic, he directed it. This is 2001. This article's 2002. I believe the charges came somewhere there. He ends up dying in his prison cell after a similar term there. Okay? So Milosevic, he becomes public enemy number one. He's a butcher. He deserves what he's gotten. He's the leader. Where is it? He's the butcher of the Balkans. And at this time, when he died, what's the media saying? We demand justice. We know what this monster did. Okay? And I've talked to people that were over there, and they didn't see the mass graves that were talked about, et cetera, et cetera. I believe it was like 8,000, men, women, and children. They said they slaughtered. However, the International Crimes Tribunal for the former Yugoslavia said no. The exoneration of Milosevic, all made up. Didn't happen. Before he could testify, he dies in prison. He's been demonized throughout history. There are still those that say, oh, how can they defend they're deniers. There's another Hague trial in December that also exonerates him, okay? 11 years after his death, a second trial chamber at the UN War Crimes Tribunal in The Hague has concluded that Slobodan Milosevic was not responsible for war crimes committed in Bosnia and Herzegovina. More than 11 years after his death, a second trial chamber at the UN War Crimes Tribunal in The Hague has concluded that the former Serbian president Slobodan Milosevic was not responsible for war crimes committed in Bosnia, where the worst atrocities associated with the breakup of Yugoslavia took place. Buried in a footnote deep in the fourth volume of the judgment against Bosnian Serb General Ratko Mladic, the judge unanimously conclude that the evidence received by the trial chamber did not show that Slobodan Milosevic, Jovica Stančić, Franko Stimaček, Željko Ražnatović, or Vojislav Šešelj participated in the realization of the criminal objective to establish an ethnically homogeneous Bosnian Serb entity through the commission of crimes alleged in the indictment, aka he didn't ethnically cleanse and murder people. That didn't happen. But they sure said it did. And this is a guy that comes in, he's questioned a large event, a large international intelligence event that I've documented in Fabled Enemies. His reign is extremely short. He's taken out by a military coup as he threatens to reveal secrets of those in power, which I'm sure he had. He literally dies in the courtroom and cannot be resuscitated. He's dead before he can even get to the hospital. Nothing to see here. Incredible story. And guys, if you want real news, I'm trying to give it to you 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times a day. We've done 7 in a day. That's the most, but we're hitting all sorts of topics. This is, I believe, video number 2. I'm slacking today. I got a couple more in mind. If you missed yesterday, I had 25 videos demonetized all at once. right after I did an amazing interview with Eric Jackman of @Jackman Radio, the world's greatest Trump impersonator. I took you on a journey on how I tried to get those remonetized. Later, more videos were actually demonetized. Ended up being 30 and above, I believe. So, to try to combat this stuff, guys, I'm trying to give you real news, not bullshit, left, right, extremist propaganda on either side. Nothing that's going to divide us. The truth, right and wrong. That's what I'm about. So I've started this GoFundMe. There's a link in the description below. If you can support me, great. I really appreciate it. If not, please share this with your friends and family. If you're new to this information, make sure you're subscribing and you're checking out the channel. I tell you to hit, ring the bell. Definitely do so. Maybe you can get in on the live chats, but just hit the blue button. We're doing all sorts of content from Bohemian Grove to DARPA to NXIVM. We're going to have a NXIVM video today, to what's going on with Iran, Assange, and much, much more. Singer, Stewart, Bezos, North Korea, Epstein, you name it. If it's important, I'm trying to cover it. And thank you guys in the comments, by the way. I'm checking out some of the tips. That's where I got this story from. Like I said, I missed it yesterday, but I'm trying not to miss anything. And with your support, we're going to cover all sorts of news, and hopefully we can bridge the gap. Come on, YouTube. We want more people in this. Tell YouTube you want content like this, because this is important shit. I'll see you guys on the flip side. Thank you so much.